She said she thinks her internet went out, but she's coming back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the dangers of social media. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen. So the dangers of social media. The three things that I want to talk about really are grooming, cyberbullying, and decreased self-esteem. There are lots of things that could happen when your teen is excessively using the internet, but these three things are the ones that can cause the most danger to your teens. So starting, I want to make sure that I credit who I got this information from. Child Mind Institute, Access Health, and the National Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children. Sorry, I just want to make sure that if she comes back on, I see her. Okay. So what is grooming? Grooming is when somebody builds a relationship or trust or an emotional connection with your child so that they can manipulate or exploit them. There's many different ways that they could do this. They could form a romantic relationship. They could be an authority figure. They could be a family member. They could be a mentor, or they could disguise themselves just sort of a dominant, persistent figure. A lot of the tactics that they use is that they pretend to be younger than they are. So typically, you know, if you're being groomed, it's usually by somebody significantly older than you. Then I think. It's typically somebody who is significantly older than you, and they may be buying gifts. They may be taking them on trips. I guess now with the COVID going on, that's probably not happening. But they may ask them to sneak out of the house or go to the park. So some signs that your teen may be being groomed is that they're very secretive about who they talk to online. They have an older boyfriend or girlfriend. When I say older, if your child is 13 or 14, having an 18 or 19-year-old boyfriend is probably inappropriate. And it's possible that 18 or 19-year-old could actually be significantly older than what they say, especially if your teen has not met them in person. Now he's talking about a 17-year-old having a 19-year-old boyfriend. That's not significantly older, but if they haven't met them in person, again, it could cause they don't know for sure how much older they are. If your teen has money or clothes, specifically a phone. So a lot of times teens, when they're being groomed, they will have a phone that you didn't know about, some secret phone that they've been using, and they can't really explain where it came from. If they're drinking and have drug use, if your teen already was drinking and drug use, that's one thing. If they're at a younger age or it's a new behavior, that's something to be worried about. Spending more or less time on devices. Spending more time, of course, we all know is a sign. When we say less time on devices, usually it means that they're spending more time with this person versus not spending time at home or spending time like they used to spend, 3 hours a day on social media. Now they're not really spending time at all. So that could be a warning sign that they're being groomed. Also being upset or withdrawn or depressed or in distress. In distress is in they're quick to anger. They have a lot of back talk. You just notice a change in their personality. Also sexualized behaviors. Sexualized behaviors meaning sending inappropriate pictures, They are wearing less and less clothing. They're talking about sex in ways that would be inappropriate for their age. I can tell you high school kids talk about sex all the time. I do group therapy with high school kids. So sex is on their mind all the time. Middle school kids, they know about sex, but it's more of a sex, he kind of thing. They kind of take it as a joke. They're not really comfortable with it. But if you have a teen, a younger, like a tween, who's actually very comfortable with talking about sex and sending inappropriate pictures, things like that, that's certainly something to be concerned about. It's also important that if you notice that any of your teen, any age of teen, if they're using, if they're sending nude pictures or inappropriate pictures or posting them, that you have a conversation with them to let them know, hey, these pictures are out there on the internet for anybody to see forever, because they really are, and teens have a hard time understanding that. But we're gonna go into that a little bit more. If your teen also goes missing for periods of time. So they say that, it's, coronavirus time, so they're not necessarily, need to be out, for long periods of time, but if they disappear overnight, your 17-year-old says they're going to their friend's house, and you call the friend and they're not there, and they turned off their tracking on their phone and you don't know where they are for all night or even for a couple of hours, that's certainly a sign that they could be being groomed. So what do? If you think your teen is being groomed, you want to validate them. So a lot of times teens will come to you in a subtle way and say, hey, I'm in this situation, I don't know what to do. Or you catch it, you find it on their phone, you find it in their email, and you have questions about it. You want to validate them, because a lot of times the teens will say, I love this person. I want to be with this person. And you can validate that they love this person, even if it's a 40-year-old man and they're 12 years old. You can still validate that they love this person and they want to be with this person. But you also need to explain to them, like, this is not an appropriate relationship. And you want to explain to them what you're going to do from here. This is not appropriate. I need to report this to the authorities. Be very transparent with them about what you're going to do. I need to take your phone away for now because I need to show it to the police or whoever. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, we need to do a couple of things in order to get this right again. So you always want to explain what you're going to do. Do not confront the abuser. That is something that you don't want to do at all, because the police, the FBI, the apps, they have their own way of confronting all of this. So you don't want to confront the abuser. There are so many, and Trevi's back and she'll tell you, there are so many different apps and websites and pages that they could use. You catch them on one site, they'll just go to another platform to contact your child. If they really want to try to get your child, they'll just go someplace else. So if you confront them, they'll disappear and they'll pop up in another space for your child. And then you've lost the ability to track them. What you want to do is report them to the authorities, which would mean the website or the app that they were on. You want to contact the police, possibly the FBI. It depends, because a lot of times the people who are grooming are actually in other countries. And so it could become an FBI case. If the person who's grooming them is a family member or somebody who has access to them, a babysitter, that's when you also want to contact CPS. And then your child, after an incident like this, may actually need therapy. Because this is a whole, it's a process, and the teen may not understand and be able to actually separate themselves from this person. So I will continue with this. but I'm actually gonna go back because Trevi joining us. So Trevi, thanks for coming back. Oh, you're muted.
No problem. Sorry, I'm having some internet issues, so I just switched over to my phone. So hopefully this will let me back in. If I can get my computer back up, then I'll just join back in. But I just need sharing abilities again, and then we can kind of jump into this. I was going to say thank you so much for that amazing introduction. And my goal to get started is to really just kind of go through the most popular social media marketing, social media sites. So that's my go-to social media sites, and identify the ones that Gen Zers are on. And I'll give you like a little walkthrough on each platform so you can kind of get familiar with how it's used. It's gonna be really brief, and I just want to kind of put out there that a lot of these apps and programs have so many small little details and intricacies that I just wouldn't have enough time to go over in detail with all of these, but I'm just going to try to give you the general use. And then another thing to note is that social media is always changing. What was cool, 2 years is not cool. Is not what's cool now. And so over, a couple of years of time, you'll see a constant shifting of what's new, what's popular, how people can interact with each other, and always new kinds of social media things to be doing. So I'm going to start with Facebook. So most of you are probably already familiar with Facebook and its functionality, how it works. I would say Gen Zers never really were on Facebook. By the time Facebook came around, that was kind of a millennial thing. And then when the Gen Zers came around to being of age to use the internet, it was kind of already an older person thing. And so the only thing, though, to mention about Facebook is that now so Facebook has a messaging platform, which is completely separate now from Facebook. So if I were to show you on my computer on Facebook, you would see, where you have people can message you and your messages coming in. But if you're looking at it on my phone, there actually is a whole separate app for that. And I'll show you, and so basically if, most of Gen Zers are gonna be doing stuff on their phones. So if you're looking through their Facebook and looking at their communication, you're not gonna see their messages on Facebook. You're gonna actually have to go to the Messenger app to open that app if you're gonna have any chance of seeing actual longer conversations that are happening. And another thing to note, I'm actually gonna see if I can screen share with you guys on the Facebook. I was planning to do this from my computer, so let me see if I can do this screen. Can you guys see my phone screen now?
No.
No. Can you see me or anything at all?
I just see your picture.
Oh, okay. So I don't think I can actually screen share from my phone since I'm on Zoom on my phone. And I actually haven't got my actual internet back up working, so I can't switch over to computer right now, but let's at least talk through it, which I think will be helpful. So Messenger is a completely separate app. You'd have to open it up to see it. And then privacy settings. So the privacy settings on Facebook is going to be really important to understand, especially if you have your teens on there and teens and younger on there. Whenever you register and make a Facebook account, yes, you have to put your phone number in there, your email address. Yep, sometimes they'll even ask you for your physical address, and that information can be visible to anyone on the internet, whether or not they have a Facebook account, unless there's a setting that makes it private. And it can do, you can even set a Facebook account to where it can't be found by anyone except when somebody else except when that person initiates the connection. So there's all kinds of privacy settings that you can use for Facebook to kind of make that interaction a little bit safer. And then also note that Messenger is a separate app from Facebook now. I think it split maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. It's been a while, but if you don't have the Messenger app download on your phone, you actually cannot receive those messages on your phone. So Facebook's kind of the easy one. But what about Instagram? Man, I'm trying to see if I can screen share again, because this would be really helpful to see. But so on Instagram, so for Facebook, Gen Zers are not really on there. They really think it's for old people. I use Facebook, so they also think I'm old as well. So nobody feel bad about what Gen Zers think is old. But they're not on Facebook. They are way more on Instagram. So Instagram is probably number one right now, still rating number one for Gen Zers and where you can find them hanging out. If you're not familiar with Instagram, it is similar to Facebook as far as interactions, except the only thing you can post on Instagram is photos and video. So there's no just text post or anything that you're linking to articles that you see on Facebook. It's purely a visual platform. And one of the amazing things that kids love on Instagram is stories. So stories, if you've ever, you'll hear about, I'm doing a story or I'm doing a story post. And stories are little 15-second clips that you can post that stay on their Instagram page for 24 hours and then disappear. This was a feature that, go ahead.
Sorry, I can share my screen, my Instagram, and maybe show a,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. Let's see if I can get it up.
So stories were unique because stories are newer to the platform, and they started, so if you look at the screen share, you'll see at the very top, these little circles at the top. Those are individual stories, and they could be one or multiple 15-second videos mashed together, and you can watch all their stories sequentially. And stories only exist for 24 hours and then they disappear. That whole concept of 24 hours and disappear came from Snapchat that we'll get into a little bit later. But Snapchat, basically it's like, it made a type of security for the younger generation to feel like if I post something on here, at least after 24 hours, nobody will be able to see it. So people were really bold and sharing all kinds of things they weren't really supposed to be, because they're under this impression that like, well, after 24 hours, it disappears. So what's the harm in that? And then we found out about screenshotting. So that's a whole nother thing. It's not, doesn't really disappear, but these stories will disappear after 24 hours. Some people can have a setting where they can keep them were you saying something?
No, the story had a words to it. Sorry.
Oh.
Explain, Aisha.
So that's like the story feature. That's probably the most popular feature right now that people are using. And then you have your main feed where you can post regular posts on your Instagram. Those last indefinitely until they're taken down by the user. And then there's also Instagram DMs. So whenever like all this stuff you hear about, it goes down in the DMs and DM me, that all started about from Instagram. It's called the DMs. There's a private messenger. You can message almost anyone on Instagram and you can message anyone and talk to anyone just by simply clicking a button. So you can, if you're looking through your kids' accounts, you can look and see who they're talking to on their DMs. Typically, if they're talking about DMs, they're probably talking about Instagram. So kind of give you a point of reference here. And then DMs, and then privacy. So Instagram also has privacy modes where you can make your Instagram profile private, where people cannot see what's posted on there. Can't see what's posted on there unless they're already approved as a friend. So that's an option for added security, but they can also be private and public to the entire world, can see all of the content, comment, reply, and interact with that person. So from 100 to 0, depending on what you're comfortable with. And also, so there's also another feature called close friends on Instagram. So if I decided that, you know, I wanted to maybe post myself doing something that I don't want everyone to see. Maybe my parents are following me on Instagram, and I don't want my, you know, all my cousins or uncles or whoever to see what I'm doing. I can actually segment out people that I want to be able to see certain things that I post. So meaning just because you're friends with someone on Instagram or your kids, that doesn't mean you're able to actually see all of their content. So there could be layers behind what's coming out on their Instagram. And that's actually a feature you can do on Instagram and on Facebook, filtering out who can actually see your post, regardless of whether or not they're your friends or connected to you. Okay, so that's Facebook and Instagram. Then we have TikTok. So TikTok is the newest on the scene, and it's the fastest rising on the scene. And so it's gaining momentum. It's trying to be the next Instagram. When Instagram came out, it was, you know, rivaled with Facebook, and eventually, you know, on its way to surpassing the fastest growing social media site. And now TikTok came along. It's actually been around for a while. It has had a couple iterations of its origin. And then now it's kind of picking up steam and really becoming the forefront, and really this is where you're going to start to see the separation from Instagram and Facebook, where you're getting some of the Gen Zers in there, especially on Instagram. But when you switch over to TikTok, you're really seeing just Gen Zers, and only like millennials are kind of trickling over. So TikTok is really going to be like your main Gen Z platform where they're spending their time. It's a creative platform, and it encourages people to be unique, create videos with their phone, and share it with access to music to create really cool videos. I mean, people have thousands and thousands of followers on these TikTok videos. And just to note, it's really not any different in the social aspect from Facebook or Instagram. You can send direct messages to people. You can follow people and see their videos. You can actually, TikTok will actually link you back to someone's Instagram. So these sites are connected to where, you know, really if you come in and meet someone on any of these platforms, you're going to be able to find them. Someone can find them. Anyone can find them on all the other social platforms because they all connect and talk to each other. It's really, it's all video here on TikTok. They, you know, last as long until they're deleted. So it doesn't have an auto delete feature. I believe it does have stories that disappear after 24 hours. So really similar. But this is definitely more for the creatives. It's supposed to be more fun and allowing young people to like be able to express themselves in a creative way with social media. Okay, and then we have Snapchat. So Snapchat's not old as Facebook, but definitely newer than TikTok. And Snapchat, like I said earlier, is where Snapchat is the yellow, let me see if my internet's working again. Snapchat, you'll see like the little yellow ghost symbol. And that was the origin of the 24-hour deleting. Snapchat is, that's where like you might have seen like the cute little dog licky faces back in the day where you stick your tongue out and like these cool filters started coming up. That all came from Snapchat. Snapchat, I would honestly say, was probably one of the more dangerous sites just because it had that false sense of security of, well, after 24 hours, they can't, you know, nobody can nobody will be able to see what I put up, which is not true. But that was where it came from. The other thing to be weary of for Snapchat is it's one of the few social, well, the app will actually geotag you. And they use these cool little emojis that you see on the screen to mark your actual location on a map. I can actually go, if I could screen share, I would go into my Snapchat app and show you where my friends are nearby, like pinpointed on a map where my friends are. And so just be wary that if that is a setting you can turn on or off, but that's on there, and it can put younger people at risk if somebody's trying to locate them. And so just be aware of that. And then, okay, so we did Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and now we're going to talk about WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is a secondary texting platform, and it's really popular because it operates on Wi-Fi, and it's an alternate to regular text messaging that does not have to go through cellular service. It goes via Wi-Fi. So like I can send text messages to my friends on WhatsApp to their actual phone number without using my cellular service, and send messages over the internet, send messages, photos, videos, anything really. If you were to open up my regular messages app on my phone, you would not see any of these messages. If you were to look at the phone bill, you would not see any of those text messages coming through, numbers on the phone bill, because it actually lives all inside of an app on my phone. And it's linked to but it's still linked to my regular phone number, or it'll even give you a fake phone number. So WhatsApp, and the other thing about WhatsApp, a lot of people use it too because you can connect with people who may be international. So that's an indication if they're texting on WhatsApp that they don't have regular cellular service, or there would be a cost to send text messages. I see that used for WhatsApp a lot to talk internationally. I think that may have been one of the red flags you were talking about earlier while I was gone. So WhatsApp, it's like, you see the little logo, the little green circle on the screen share with the phone in it. That's the WhatsApp logo. So that's actually the logo for the app that you can find, that you'll see. So WhatsApp is super popular. I would say it's like right up there with regular text messaging. Young people are using it all the time to communicate with each other. It'd be a really great way to get around parents asking who you're talking to. Like, well, you can look at my phone. I haven't been texting anybody. So it could be in WhatsApp. But not to say, like, there are other ones besides WhatsApp. This is just one of the more popular ones. There's several of these apps that are like alternate texting. Even like Google has one. Google Meets is another one. So there's multiple. WhatsApp's just really popular. Okay, now let's get on to dating apps. Dating, all these dating apps. So the older ones, so like young people are still on Tinder. It's more of like a running joke. I think a lot of kids use it for fun or make fun of it, but that's the platform where you see, swipe right, you'll show a photo of a person, and swipe right if you're attracted to this person, swipe left if you don't want to be attracted to this person. And when you do that, if you swipe right, it actually sends a notification to that person. And people create their own bios, they put up their photo, their age, a little blurb about who they are, what they're looking for. I mean, you could select anything from just, casual conversation or just friends to, I just want to hook up. It'll be like an option on there. To I'm looking for someone to marry. And then you put your intention, what you're looking for, and then people are just swiping left and right and getting messages like crazy on there. So that Tinder's kind of an older one. I use that as like an example to kind of as a reference point. But the newer ones now that younger people are using, really probably the number one is going to be Bumble. Bumble's kind of like the new age dating app. So Bumble, Tinder, Plenty of Fish are probably going to be the top 3 right now. It's actually a platform, I believe both are 18 and over. So that's also an indication of who you'll find on there, especially if you have your teens using any of those platforms. Just be very wary. 18 is supposed to be the minimum age, and probably a great place for predators to hang out. And then, so after dating apps, I had a couple of photos to share with you guys too. The internet just does not want me to be great today, but you know what? That is okay. We're still gonna make it through and get you guys all the valuable information that you need. So we talked about Facebook, talked about Instagram, we talked about TikTok. You probably want to take notes and like write these down because there's so many, and probably like by the time this is over and your kid's talking about what app, you may want to like look back and see like all these things, what were the notes were on each one, so what it means. But Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, dating profiles like Bumble, Tinder, and Plenty of Fish. And then you also have, I really think of this as like the one that people don't think about, but it is highly, highly social, are gaming platforms. Gaming platforms, gaming apps, and game boards or like chat boards. So when I say gaming platforms, if your child is a gamer and they're playing games online and they have like, you know, whether they'll be playing it on their computer because it'll be such a powerful game that they're streaming it through a platform, a gaming platform. Those platforms, you might be paying for them or you've heard of them. So the big platforms are Steam, GOG, Galaxy, Xbox, Origin, Battle.net, itch.io, Twitch, and then also Facebook actually just released a new gaming platform. One of them, Microsoft's gaming platform, just went out of business the other day, and Facebook swooped it up, and they actually added a whole section. You may have seen it on your Facebook app that's dedicated to gamers. It's now a whole gaming platform. And so these platforms house really large, massive games. And these are like the role-playing games, gosh, I'm not a gamer, but like, I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm gonna like make myself sound really old, but these larger games that people are playing have to go through a gaming platform. And those platforms are also highly social. They have full communication chat boards that live inside of this app on your computer. It's not actually on the internet. It's a program they have to download onto their computer and then connect to the internet, where all these gamers come into this one program that's all connected to each other, and they can talk to each other. You can make friends, you can send messages to each other. A lot of the boards, they might have boards about like a certain game on, maybe they're working through something, or they want to build teams of people working together. And so these gaming platforms were built to be highly social, to foster communities, and really get to know the players that you're playing with. A lot of these are also have like including the voice, including like Xboxes and gaming systems. They also include the voice activation. You can actually talk to people, with your voice, sometimes even on video, through these gaming platforms. So just being aware, especially if you have a gamer, that there's the possibility for a lot of social interaction and connection happening within those platforms. And then gaming apps. So now I'm not talking anymore about the program you download to play these massive online games. I'm talking about when you go to the App Store and you download any game. And I'm talking about, I think I've seen my goddaughter, as young as 7, downloading apps from the Apple Store and playing them on her phone. A lot of those games have chat features on them, where you can create your own profile, attach your photo to that profile, talk to other players, get, adding your age and a little bit about you. And they're having conversations in these games with people that they don't know. And I'm not a therapist. I'm the social media person, but I'm just kind of trying to highlight these little secretive areas that I've even seen, in my goddaughter. Like, she'll be, you know, playing a game, and I would think that it's just a regular, you know, I don't know, you're playing a mommy and me game where, you know, I'm talking to somebody, and on the very bottom, there's a little chat box where people are talking. And so these are all very real things. Games have chats in them, so be aware of that. And then there's also boards. So like I don't think that the chat rooms are not necessarily the thing anymore. That was like a really, you know, blast from the past. But chat boards and online communities are a really big thing. So especially for bloggers, people who are teenager, all of these platforms, all of these blogs, all of these message boards are highly, highly social, same system. You've got your individual profile. You can direct message people. You can reply to people's comments directly on a board that's visible to the entire world. So just understanding the additional power that there's other avenues of social networking and connection that may be great and dangerous to your teen to be aware of outside of just the immediate social media apps that you can think of that we went over first. And then I also wanted to talk about kind of like more just on the whole tech side to understand that there are so many ways on your phone to hide things from parents and anyone and anybody that you don't want to see stuff. Like I had mentioned, like, you know, for what the WhatsApp, that's the alternate texting platform. You know, if my parent says, hey, I want to see who you're texting, I can just delete my app and you'll never find it because you'll never know it was there and it's not on my phone anymore. And then when you give me my phone back, I can re-download WhatsApp and everything I had will still be there and come right back up on my phone. So that's really the reality with any app. There's apps out there that are like, they call them like vault apps, where you can send photos that you may not want someone to see to a secret vault on your phone, remove it from the photos, put it in this vault app. And the vault app doesn't say vault app on your phone. It would literally say like contacts. And the secret to opening the Vault app is holding the content in the fake screen that pops up to pretend like it's actually your contacts. But the secret is hit the 3 dots at the top and hit on like settings, and then it opens up your whole secret vault of the photos. So, you know, I would just kind of caution that those things are out there. It is very easy to hide things. It's very easy to not have things show up on phone bills and statements and, you know, the data usage that gets sent out, you know, for family plans. So I just felt like it's really important to highlight that. I think I don't know of any apps that find hidden apps, although that might be kind of cool to see, but just understanding the intricacy of how difficult it could be to find something like that if somebody doesn't want you to find it. So I know I don't want to take up all the time. I just did a brief overview, and I will turn it back over to Mimi for her section and questions. I'm happy to answer.
Thank you, Trevi. Don't go anywhere because I know people have lots of questions. If you guys have questions, please post them in the comment section. Also, Trevi, while I talk more about cyberbullying, could you post some of the apps and things and chat rooms in the comment section, just so that people, if they didn't take notes, that they will have that to take notes. So I'm going to go back to, we were talking about the dangers of social media. We talked about grooming, and now we're also going to talk about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is basically, or it's also called electronic bullying. It involves, you know, verbal aggression, threats. It could also involve threats of property damage, and there's often a disconnect between young people's experience of bullying and what adults see. You don't necessarily see them being bullied online. a lot of teens, they call them trolls, right? So you post something on the internet and people comment on it. And there are people out there who purposely go through pages to find weird stuff or stuff that is kind of outside the norm, or just for no reason, and post very mean stuff. And teens already have they're trying to find their way, so it becomes very challenging when rumors are spread or if they're threatened. So some risk factors if your teen's being bullied. So risk factors as in who is more likely to be bullied online. So if your teen is perceived as different from peers, like if they're overweight, underweight, they wear glasses, or they wear different clothing, if they go to a new school, if they can't afford, so if they go to a school where kids, drive luxury cars and they're having trouble, affording lunch every day, they're not in the cool crowd, or if they're perceived as weak and unable to defend themselves, meaning if someone snaps at them, they kind of cower away versus being able to, express themselves. If they're already depressed, anxious, or have low self-esteem, if they have few friends or they don't get along with others, they're seen as annoying or provoking or antagonizing for attention. They are definitely more likely to be cyberbullied. Some signs that you do not want to ignore: a teen having frequent or stomach aches or faking illnesses. So when there's stress in the body, when there's stress, it affects the whole body. So if your teen all of a sudden is starting to have headaches and stomach aches, unexplainable, and you can't explain it any other way, that might be a sign of them being cyberbullied. Faking illnesses, when they're actually going to school and they're faking illnesses to get out of going to school, that is also a sign. Changing in eating habits, like skipping meals or binge eating. The skipping meals could be like if they're being bullied about their weight, if they're overweight, then that could be a sign. Or they're binge eating, meaning they're not eating anything all day and in the middle of the night they're eating because they're hungry. But it's certainly a sign of something is going on. Difficulty sleeping or frequent nightmares. Nightmares is definitely something to be on the look for. Declining grades, loss of interest in school. A sudden loss of friends or avoidance of social situations. So if your teen had like a group of friends and then all of a sudden, you ask them, so how is so-and-so doing? And they're like, oh, we're not friends anymore, or don't ask me about them anymore. That's definitely a sign that a break has happened within those friends, and it's a possibility that they're being bullied by this friend group. Feeling helpless or decreased self-esteem, or doing self-destructive behaviors like running away from home, harming themselves, or talking about suicide. Again, if they're harming themselves, self-harm, cutting, headbanging, scratching, pulling out their hair, or talking about suicide, you want to get them treatment right away. And this means if they're talking about suicide, they need to go to the emergency room right away. If they're harming themselves, definitely you want to get them into therapy. And if they're harming themselves to the point where they're bleeding, you want to get medical attention for sure. So what can you do? If you notice that they're being bullied, you want to validate them. Validate that maybe they still want to be the friends of the people who are bullying them. And it's okay to validate them and say, look, I know that these were your friends, and I don't want to cause more drama, with them. And, we can't have you being bullied. It's not appropriate. Again, explain what you're going to do. Do not confront the abuser, meaning you don't want to, as a parent, confront another child if they're being bullied by another child. You want to report it to the authorities. If they're being bullied online, like through an app, again, you report it to the app, to the police. You may even have to report it to the school. It just depends on what's going on. Now that the teens are not in school, school may not be a place to go to right now. But definitely you yourself don't want to confront the abuser, because that really only makes it worse for the teen. And then again, therapy. If they're been consistently bullied, getting help would be really important. I can't tell you how many teenagers I've seen when they come in for assessments and they say, yeah, I was bullied during my whole middle school career, like 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And I say, well, what did you do about it? So I didn't do anything about it. Did you tell your parents? No, I didn't say anything because they would have made it worse. And some of the parents will say, yeah, I kind of knew, but I didn't really do anything, about it. So it's really, really, really important that if you know it, that you say something to them about it. So the other thing that social media causes is self-doubt. If you can imagine the millions of people who are on the internet, and teens will look at other people and say, oh, they have a wonderful life, or oh, they're so thin, or oh, they have like the perfect body or the perfect face, and it makes them doubt themselves. Yes, so cyber connected teens see social media as the best source of connection and belonging. So it's to take social media out of their life altogether is really not an option. They don't see it as an option. Like Trevi said, there's so many ways that they could hide social media from you. It's just, that's not something that they're willing to let go of. That is a part of their generation. But it also provides adolescents with greater social assets and longing to feel belong to something. So if they had a hard time getting along with teens at school, and they're a gamer, and they can get on this gaming platform and meet people who are just like them, who are around their same age, that may help boost their self-esteem. However, there's so many different ways that, and studies have shown that Instagram and Twitter and all these social media apps can be related to low self-esteem and high anxiety. So the combined weight of their vulnerability, teens' natural vulnerability, their need for validation, and desire to compare themselves with other peers form this perfect storm of self-doubt. Again, people take a snapshot when they do pictures, they do these many videos, it's a snapshot of what's going great, right? And so it's very challenging for teens to understand that they're just showing you a snapshot of their life. It doesn't mean that their life is perfect. And teens tend to have these unrealistic standards of themselves. And we actually see the fallout of these unrealistic standards as they start to reach college age. Where they face higher stakes, harder work, and a larger parent-free environment. They're out in the world. So this pressure to look perfect to impress not only their friends, but also family back home if they go away, and just this pressure to be perfect in general. That's what social media sort of has caused. I want to look like I'm the best. There's a million filters to make me look like I'm skinny, to make me look like I have thin face, to make me look like I have the perfect hair. And I can take a snapshot and say I have the perfect life, and that was with my screen. Best life ever. I mean, there are people who are posting that they went on vacation. This is my European vacation, and they're not in Europe at all. They have a background that they've sat and they have spent 30 minutes or 45 minutes setting up this perfect shot. And the teen on the other end is like, dang, I wish I could go to Europe right now. So again, when teens, when they're looking at these pictures, it creates self-doubt in them, and it lowers their self-esteem. And then if they post something and they get negative feedback or sarcastic comments, that's another hit on their self-image. So kids who are already experiencing anxiety and depression, they sometimes also will edit their feeds to mask sort of what's what's really going on. And they will present themselves to the world as if everything is okay. And the having to pretend like everything's okay for, you know, hours out of the day, or just even on social media, makes it harder to accept that you have a less than perfect life. It makes it harder to accept that it's okay that you're not perfect, that it's okay that you have challenges. We just need to address them. So what can you do? I was going to show you this. I am going to show you. I'm going to show you this in a minute, but again, take social media seriously, meaning this is a part of their world. This is what they do. This is part of Generation Z. This is the world evolving, and you want to validate the positive and also discuss the negative. You want to create a very good communication with your team. Encourage them to think outside the cropped box, as we call it. Let them understand, look, this is just the picture that they took was a one-time sort of picture. We don't know what they're really going through. And so, yeah, that's a nice picture. And, you know, there's could be lots of other things that they're going through. It's just in that moment, they took this beautiful picture. You want to model a healthy response to failure. So if your team fails at something, being able to validate you tried, it's okay to fail at something, doesn't mean you're a failure just because you got an F on a paper. And explain your failures. You know, as a parent, look, I failed an exam before and I felt this way. You know, you can validate, you understand those feelings. And it's okay, you know, it's okay to have failures. And we just pick ourselves up and we keep moving. You want to praise and show effort. So if your team is doing effort in whatever they're doing, if it's their schoolwork or project or anything, you want to praise them. You want to validate them. You don't always want to praise them when they get an A. You want to praise them in the middle of them working towards that A. So if they're doing their homework, good job. I'm so happy that you're sitting down doing your homework. Taking a social holiday. So either 1 hour a day, or, you know, depending on how much social media is in your family life, taking a day. You know what? No social media for the day. No phones. Everybody give me your phones. Like, not even you as the parent. We're going to take a whole day off from social media. We're going to spend time with the family. So doing a social holiday every now and then, just to get them used to the fact that they don't necessarily have to be connected to the phone 24/7. They could actually enjoy life outside of social media. So that's really important, that it's not just them giving the phone either, it's a whole family taking a holiday. And also trust people, not pictures. So if you're, you know, on your team's website, their Instagram, their TikTok, and you're following them, and they just look like the happiest person ever, remember, again, you don't want to trust the pictures. Again, that's a snapshot. That's what they're trying to show the world. That does not necessarily mean that they're not depressed or have anxiety or that they're hurting inside. Okay? So I'm going to show you this video. I have to stop sharing this. And I'm going to show you this video. And the reason why I want to show you this video is through the Child Mind Institute. And the reason why I want to show you this video is because parents ask all the time, should I know what apps, how do I know what apps my child is using? Do I go through their phone? If it is a situation of safety, yes. Should you have your teen's password to their phone? Yes. Do that mean you have to go through it? No. So a minor child or a child living in your home should know that their social media is a privilege. It's a privilege that they have, that they earn. And if they are not using it appropriately, then yes, it can be taken away. So I'm going to,
there is a lot.
Sorry. I need to share this with you. Let me. And I think this video like says it better than I could say it.
Parents need to know about to keep their teens safe when using social media. Here are some helpful tips to keep your teen safe online. First, collect all of your children's screen names and passwords. Then learn how to friend or follow them on every app and platform. Let them know you'll check their pages randomly, at least twice a week. On your web browser, enable strict privacy settings to avoid tracking by websites and the installation of cookies. Turn off location services and disable data sharing capability on apps. Always choose strict privacy settings and avoid using social media sites as logins for other platforms. For children under the age of 13, parents should install child-specific web browsers. Set limits with your child, like who they can talk to on social media, when they can talk, and for how long, where they can use social media, and be open with you, not in secret. Why they can use social media. Maintaining friendships is good. Gossiping or attention-seeking is bad. Clearly define what information should be kept private and make sure they only use their first names. Talk about appropriate photos and videos, and make sure they use appropriate language. And always, always be sure they avoid friending strangers. To learn more about protecting your child in the digital age, visit childmind.org.
Okay, so again, easy to say, hard to do, as Trevi said, collecting all of your child's passwords and knowing all the apps they're on, that may be challenging. But asking, you can ask them and have a conversation with them. What are you using? You know, can I see your phone? And basically, if you think that there is a safety issue going through their phone, and letting them know that that's always a possibility, that you could do that at any time whenever you feel like there's a safety issue. There is a question, Trevi, if you want to unmute yourself.
Yeah, and I'm back on regular video, so I can actually show stuff now, so that's great.
One of the questions is, can you talk a little bit about Discord, Fortnite, and Minecraft?
Yeah, so Discord and Origin are gaming platforms. Minecraft, Fortnite, those are the actual games. I don't know, so I'm not like a gaming specialist by any means, but I do know that those games run on gaming platforms like Origin. I actually have Origin on my computer because I used to play The Sims 3 and it runs through Origin, so I technically have to download Origin and make a profile on Origin, which is social, to be able to play those games. And so a lot of the role-playing games too, like Fortnite, you're connecting and chatting and interacting with people in the game and can be interacting and chatting with people through the platform. That's how they're able to make those connections with people. So those would fall into the gaming games and then gaming systems. Those are some of the also really popular ones, Origin and what was the other one? Twitch. I think it was Twitch.
Discord,
yeah.
I do also know that like Fortnite and Minecraft, those are definitely gaming platforms where people form friendships. And the age range for Fortnite and Minecraft the range is huge, from, a 10-year-old all the way up to a 60-year-old. So it's important that you are, again, we talked a little bit about grooming and things like that. If your teen is saying, oh, I have a friend and I met them on Fortnite or Minecraft, you can't assume that that friend is actually their age. And there's no, they don't have an age, I can't think of the word. There's no age limit, or, you know, they don't say, oh, if you are this age, you can only play with somebody this age. Like, the age range is huge. So it's important just to, and it's not necessarily a bad thing that a 13-year-old is playing the game, but if they are communicating and talking about inappropriate things, or if they're like becoming friends, then we know that, you know, something is kind of off about this situation, and you'd want to get involved in it.
Side note, if there's a platform anyone wants to see, I can now show you. Just drop it in the chat or let me know and I can bring it up.
Can you show the WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the most popular one.
WhatsApp. Nope. Can you enable me? And now I'm giving you a hard time.
Sorry, it's okay. Okay.
Just a second. Here we go. Can you guys now see my phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So WhatsApp is right here. You can see it, the little green square with the white phone in it. That's WhatsApp. If I open up WhatsApp, it really just looks like another text messaging system. So I actually, you know, this first conversation is a conversation with my brother-in-law in Argentina. And I can just send him a text message anytime. It does not go to my regular text messages. I even got like this message right here came through on my WhatsApp. I don't know where this person got my information. I don't know how they sent me a message on WhatsApp, but she just texted me talking about buying something. Oh, she wants me to buy hair and lashes from her factory in China. Totally random. Like, these are this technology's out there for anyone really to be able to get through. And I simply clicked block this business, but technically that means anyone can do this and send me a message on my WhatsApp. So it's really, you know, really simple. It's just, you can send photos and videos and anything as you normally would on a regular text messaging app. Yeah, it's really, I mean, it doesn't do anything else but send messages, but that's WhatsApp.
Can you show us TikTok? I wasn't able to like,
Yeah.
or maybe not. Oh, so TikTok is, yeah, okay, TikTok. And then maybe we can show, I mean, I know we're kind of out of time, but.
So TikTok, this is the logo for TikTok. It's it doesn't matter. So this is a logo for TikTok. Don't need a history lesson in it. These are the kind of things you'll see on TikTok. They're short, 1 minute videos, really.
Wait, how can I help you?
How you doing, sir? Can I get the Chick-fil-A Deluxe?
Yes, sir. Hey, sir, actually, can you move up behind this car? Like, keep moving.
Okay.
So just because the car's behind you.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I get Chick-fil-A Deluxe?
Yes, sir.
Does it come with lettuce?
Oh, yes, sir, it does,
It
actually.
does? Okay,
Yes, sir.
I don't actually want lettuce
Oh,
up
I'll
there.
take it off. Yes,
That's
sir.
fine, okay.
Okay.
Also, just can I get some barbecue sauce
Oh,
as
yes,
well?
sir, yeah.
Is that cool?
What, any other condiments?
No, I think I'm good, sir.
Okay,
Actually,
what about drinks? What about drinks?
let me get a high C. Is that
I
cool?
see, okay, sir. That'll be actually $12.99.
$4.99?
$12.99, my pleasure, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Here's another iPhone hack I guarantee you didn't know about, part 9. Okay, I'm going to show you how to take...
Pulled over by a cop. So I told him that.
So, hold on, sorry, okay. So it's just all short videos. It's all supposed to be music, funny, make you smile. They're all really short. They're under 60 seconds of what you can post on here. You can have your own profile, just kind of like Instagram with your own followers. I don't have any likes. I don't think I've ever posted a TikTok video, but I can tell you all about it. And there's like a discover page, and you can kind of see like the different categories of beauty tutorials, sports, nature vibes, the challenges, all the dance challenges you see now, they're all coming from TikTok. So this is where dance challenges and any challenges really live now. Workout videos, Nobody Needs to Know was another challenge. Pets of TikTok. These are just all, you know, meet my parents. Here's a really, it was a good one. That's the whole video, like simple, really stuff like that. So TikTok, this is TikTok if you've never seen it. Now you know what it looks like. And you said show, which was the other one?
Actually, we're running out of time, but I do want to say something about TikTok. So your teens could be extremely obsessed about TikTok. And one of those reasons might be because people become TikTok stars and they make millions of dollars. So what happens is they upload a video, they get a bunch of likes, and different product companies basically want them to be their brand ambassador. And so they make millions of dollars just from doing TikTok videos. So if your teen is obsessed as I want to be a TikTok star, I want you to know that that is a real thing that people do. They do also do that on YouTube. And so you can validate them that, you know, hey, it's great that you want to do this. And, you know, it's the likelihood is also like, you know, being a basketball star. So there's a gazillion videos. Doesn't mean they can't hit the lottery and you know, go viral. But just so you know, that is a real thing that people do become these millionaires just off of TikTok. There was one other question. Given the drastically limited actual interactions with friends during COVID, teens seem to turn more to social media like many of us. Can you offer tips to reduce the reliance of social media for friend interactions? That's a tough one. And the reality of that is unless the teens have other things to do, they are going to go straight to their friends because when up until a certain age, the most influential person in their life is their parents. Once they reach about age 12, 13, the most influential people in their life are their friends. So they're going to look for their friends. With COVID, that they aren't able to see their friends, they are looking for them in other ways on social media. They're looking to, and a lot of their friends that they may have had in person, when they realize that they're not seeing them in person anymore, they start to realize, these are not my friends. These are not actually even people that I would hang out with if it wasn't for the fact that we go to school together. So they're actually in search of people who are more like-minded, which makes them even more want to be on the internet. I think that it might be unrealistic to think, you know, how do I pull them away from social media? Because you may not be able to. But what you can do is find other things for them to do. And that would require doing family things. So, you know, again, like taking a social holiday. From this time to this time, we are going to spend family time together. That's what we're going to do. We're all stuck in this house together anyway. At least we can all, you know, learn more about each other. From this time to this time, you know, we're going to take a walk or we're going to exercise together. Whatever it is that you have planned, it's got to be a family event. Otherwise, if you're on your computer working all day and your teen's going to be on their screen all day. It's summertime now, so they're not even in school. They have nothing, literally nothing to do but scroll all day. And that's the only thing to entertain them unless they're sleeping. So again, it's up to the parent to try to find something else to do in order to get them off the screens. I hope I answered that question. otherwise, I mean, we talked a lot about the dangers of the internet and social media. And again, it's not all dangerous. It's just when you find those signs that you want to try to reach out for help. Okay, and again, things are changing so much. Again, what Trevi talked about today as the, what teens are on, tomorrow may be different. So social media is changing constantly, but having good communication with your teen is the most important thing. Okay. So I would like to thank Trevi for all the knowledge and gems you dropped on us tonight. We are so thankful to have professionals in the community that are willing to take the time out to be real and tell us the truth. If you're interested in contacting Trevi for additional speaking engagements, you can email us at info@jacobsladdertherapies.com, and I will pass on the information to her. Again, if you missed any part of this or want to recap, you can view it on Jacob's Ladder Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. The links have already been posted in the comment section. If you feel like you or your family member could benefit from therapeutic services, please contact us. We provide free assessments daily to help determine the right level of care for your family member, even if it's not with us. And I've already put the link to the self-schedule an assessment in the comment section. You can view all of our clinicians at our website, www.jacobsladdertherapies.com. So again, thank you to Trevi, and to all of our viewers, good night and stay safe.
Thanks so much, Demetra. Loved it. Thank you.
Great. Good night.